Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Question Hour show from the Parliament House complex, where we bring you important unstart questions that were asked by the members of the upper house during the previous session and the response given by the government in written format. I'm Kriti Mishra, and joining me is my colleague Vishal. Dahiya.
Well, thank you so much, Kriti. And let's take our viewers through some important questions. Well, the first question is from member Ramnath Thakur, and this is addressed to the Ministry of Agriculture, wherein the member wants to know whether government proposes to encourage biofertilizers instead of chemical fertilizers and pesticides in view of their adverse effect on the human health.
Well, in the answer, it is mentioned that the Government of India has initiated number of steps for encouraging or promoting the use of fertilizers or biofertilizers in place of chemical fertilizers by providing assistance, incentives for production, procurement of biofertilizers under various schemes and programs. One of them is Paramparagat Krishi Vikas Yojana, in which assistance of 50,000 per hectare per 3 years is given, out of which 31,000 is provided to the farmers directly through direct benefit transfer for inputs, fertilizers, biopesticides, vermicompost, botanical extracts, production, procurement, post-harvest management. Moving on, the government also says that Mission Organic Value Chain Development for North-Eastern region, farmers are given assistance of 25,000 rupees per hectare per 3 years for both on-farm and off-farm organic inputs, seeds and planting material. Capital Investment Subsidy Scheme for setting up of state-of-the-art liquid or carrier-based biofertilizer, biopesticide units of 200 ton per annum capacity. 100% assistance is provided to state governments or government agencies up to a maximum limit of 160 lakh per unit. Similarly, for individuals, private agencies, assistance up to 25% of cost limited to 40 lakh rupees per unit as capital investment is provided through NABARD. National Mission on Oilseeds and Oil Palm, financial assistance of 50% subsidy to the tune of 300 rupees per hectare is being provided for different components, including biofertilizer, supply of rhizobium culture, phosphate solubilizing bacteria and also zinc solubilizing bacteria. National Food Security Mission, which is the NFSM, under this scheme, financial assistance is provided for promotion of biofertilizer at 50% of the cost, limited to 300 rupees per hectare. The effort of the government through different interventions has resulted in increase in carrier-based biofertilizer production from 80,8029 MT in 2015-16 to 121,066 MT in 2017-18. Similarly, the liquid-based biofertilizer production has also increased. Let's move on to the next question asked by member Sanjay Seth, and this one also pertains to the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers' Welfare. And Mr. Seth has asked about the steps taken by the government to ensure that farmers' income is doubled by the year 2022.
Well, the Ministry of Agriculture, in its response to this question, says that the government had constituted an inter-ministerial committee in April 2016 to examine issues related to doubling of farmers' income and recommend strategies to achieve the same. The committee has submitted its report to the government in September 2018. Various recommendations for agriculture market reforms, price support system to farmers, reducing input cost for farming, health of the soil, irrigation management, risk management with respect to crop loss, improvement in institutional credit system, drought management and secondary agriculture, along with governance and structural reforms have been made by the DFI committee. Further, the government has constituted an empowered body for implementation and monitoring of the recommendations of the DFI committee. The government has approved Pradhan Mantri Kisan Man Dhan Yojana, a pension scheme for all land-holding small and marginal farmers in the country, subject to certain exclusion clauses, with a view to provide social security net as they have minimal or no savings to provide for old age and to support them in the event of consequent loss of livelihood. The scheme provides for monthly contribution by eligible farmers in the age group of 18 to 40 years, with a matching contribution by the Government of India. Payment of a minimum fixed pension of rupees 3,000 per month to the enrolled farmers starts on their attaining the age of 60 years. The scheme is for landholding farmers only. There is another scheme of the Ministry of Labour named Pradhan Mantri Shram Yogi Man Dhan, wherein non-landholding farmers can also benefit. Well, the next question is by member Rakesh Sinha, and this one is to the Ministry of Ayurveda, Yoga and Naturopathy, Unani and Siddha. Now, the question is whether government is planning to open yoga institutes in foreign countries.
Well, at present, there is no such proposal under the consideration of the government. However, Ministry of Ayush has been providing technical support to ICCR and the Indian missions abroad for celebration of International Yoga Day in a befitting manner. Indian Council for Cultural Relations has been facilitating celebration of International Yoga Day in the Indian missions posts abroad in collaboration with Ministry of Ayush. Consequent to adoption of resolution by the United Nations General Assembly during its 69th session for observing 21st June as the International Day of Yoga, Ministry of Ayush has been organizing international yoga conferences for the last 4 consecutive years. Yoga experts, enthusiasts nominated by Indian missions abroad are invited to participate in the international yoga conferences every year. Nominations from Prime Minister's Award for outstanding contribution towards promotion and development of yoga at international level were also sought from all Indian missions abroad. Moving on to the next question asked by member Amar Shankar Saple, and this one pertains to the Ministry of Civil Aviation. And Mr. Saple has asked whether the government is considering to expand the airports of smaller cities.
Well, the Ministry of Civil Aviation, in response to this question, says that Government of India, Ministry of Civil Aviation has launched Regional Connectivity Scheme RCS UDAN, that is Ude Desh Ka Aam Nagarik, in October 2016 with the objective to facilitate and stimulate regional air connectivity to currently underserved and unserved airports in the country, including those in the smaller cities. The expansion of airports under the scheme is demand driven, depending upon firm commitment from airline operators as well as from the state government for providing various concessions. Further, the ministry says that improving the infrastructure, including provisions of air services at night at the civil services, is a continuous process and is undertaken by Airport Authority of India, depending upon commercial viability, traffic demand, operational requirements, demand from airlines, technical feasibility, willingness of airlines to operate to and from such airports. The next question is also to the Ministry of Civil Aviation, and this one is from member Sushil Kumar Gupta, who wants to know from the government whether it is a fact that under the Corporate Social Responsibility, that is CSR, the Airports Authority of India, in collaboration with the National Skill Development Corporation, has set up an aviation multi-skill development center.
The answer given by the government is an affirmative, and the government says that Airports Authority of India has set up 2 aviation multi-skill development centers in collaboration with the National Skill Development Corporation and National Skill Development Fund under the Corporate Social Responsibility initiatives. These centers are located in Chandigarh and Mumbai. The government further says that AAI has taken up following projects in Delhi, Haryana under CSR initiatives in the last 3 years. Now, these include the Empathy Campaign, empowering people against hepatitis at New Delhi in the year 2018-19. Purchase of 5 mobile vans for extending the mobile library services in slum areas and economically weaker sections of the society in Delhi NCR in the year 2018-19. Provisioning of teaching learning materials for Hindi instruction for grades 1 to 3rd in government schools in Panchkula, Haryana for 2 years in the year 2018-19. Operation of paper recycling unit at Rangpuri, New Delhi for 3 years in the year 2018-19. Supporting the liver transplantation surgery of economically weaker patients in New Delhi in the year 2017-18, and also operation and management of paper recycling unit at Rangpuri, New Delhi in the year 2016-17. Well, the next question has been asked by member Rajmani Patel, and this question pertains to the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. And Mr. Patel has asked whether it is a fact that creation of jobs in the country has weakened due to slowdown in manufacturing and export sector.
Well, the ministry has given a very precise answer to this question, and it says that as per the latest available estimates of gross domestic product GDP by National Statistical Office, the gross value added GVA at constant prices 2011 to 2012 for the manufacturing sector registered a growth of 6.9% in the year 2018-19 as compared to a growth of 5.9% in the year 2017-18. Now, the merchandise exports as per DGCINS Department of Commerce registered a robust growth of 10% and 8.8% during 2017-18 and 2018-19 respectively. Well, the last question of this episode of Question Hour has been asked by 2 members, Ambika Soni and T. Subirami Reddy, wherein both the members wants to know from the government whether its attention is drawn towards a recent hike in cement price, almost doubling up to 400 per 50 kg bag, while there was no increase in the input costs.
Well, the answer given by the government is again in affirmative, and the government says that complaints have been received regarding hike in cement prices and cartelization by cement companies. As per the information provided by Competition Commission of India, complaints regarding hike in cement price and cartelization by cement companies are under examination. CCI has further informed that in addition, 2 cases were filed alleging cartelization by cement companies. These cases were referred to the Director General for Investigation, wide order dated 6th December 2016. However, proceedings in the matter have not kept in abeyance by the Honorable Guwahati High Court, wide order dated 14th of September 2018. The cement industry was delicensed in 1991 under the policy of economic liberalization. The control over price and distribution of cement has been removed since then. So Vishal, these were the questions and answers that we had for our viewers in this edition of Question Hour.
And after the break, our colleagues Arvind Singh and Kriti Singh will bring you some more questions in Hindi in Prashnakal. Stay tuned.